indicate initial speed. Okay.
Hi, I'm Guy Andrews. Welcome to Guy's Garage YouTube channel. I'm here on set with a friend of mine, Richard Norton. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Guy. Guy,
Richard.
Yeah, great.
Guy. Yeah.
Guy,
So,
okay,
yeah. Good friend.
friends.
Richard and I work together on Mad Max Fury Road, and we're actually on a set of a movie at the moment. And we woke this morning to the news of Mike Tyson beating down someone on a plane in Vegas. And I thought, well, who better than Richard, who's got an extensive martial arts background and worked with Chuck Norris and all the big names in martial arts for many years, and he's here as the fight coordinator for this movie as well.
Also worked as a personal bodyguard for 25 years.
25 years as a personal bodyguard. There you go. But Richard, I respect very much in the in this area, and I thought, you know what, it'd be really cool to watch the footage and actually get his opinion on what happened here and what you think, mate.
Well, there's a couple of versions, Guy. There's the version where I'd like to say that he should have really controlled his emotions, taken a more spiritual path, you know, and just diffused, you know, a bit of dialogue, bit of diffusion, just calm the guy down who's obviously upset over something. The flip side is I would have punched his fucking head in. Do you know what I mean? Because
it looked like he was egging him on.
He's hanging over the top of the seat. He's probably spitting all over him. Mr. Tyson had nicely asked the man to please stop bothering him, which you don't necessarily see in that. The guy's got a couple of people. One's obviously filming. One's egging this dude on. And listen, I'm sorry. I think the airline should have been involved. They're the ones that should have been there to sort of nip this in the bud. That's their job, and or call Commonwealth Police, you know, or whatever, if it was getting out of hand. But poor old Mike's there trying to mind his own business. And you know the guy's an idiot, because who the hell would be picking and slobbering over Mike Tyson, for God's sake?
Yeah, you asked him for trouble.
I've been combat arts all my life. It's the last thing I would do.
Even you.
Even me, you know, to get slogged by Mike with bare knuckles.
You see this a lot now. There's a lot of young people, they know within the law they can get away with all sorts of shit. And
No, yeah, on a serious note, that's the problem. You know, it's what are the repercussions? And it's not a lot now. The issue is cameras. Everything's being filmed these days, so you have to be very careful about the physical route you take with a response like that. Even you can be 100% in the right, at least in your mind, but as soon as somebody sees a closed fist, it represents extreme violence. And unfortunately, we've got to be very careful, because I say to people, you might have every right to defend yourself. In this case, Mike's not defending, he's not under physical threat.
yeah.
But his space, you know, you still have a right to a certain sort of physical space that I think you can protect.
Quite a different situation to, say, the Will Smith, Chris Rock situation, obviously.
Oh, 100%, you know, I mean, that's a whole other thing we can talk about. But, you know, you're Mike Tyson, he's asked him nicely, and again, you never see the whole story. What is mostly shown is this guy standing there, next minute's Mike punching him in the head.
Yeah.
But one's got to ask, where is your limit? You know, where's your, everybody has it, and
You
again,
didn't
you
just
have
switch,
a right.
you obviously got
Yeah,
pushed
you
and
get a
pushed.
switch, and so often, you know, and this is the problem, which is so much easier said than done, that you can control your emotions. You know, yes, in hindsight, same with Will Smith. He'd wish to God he'd never done that. I know that. He'd be hurting.
You've worked
you know?
with Will too.
I've worked with Will, trained Will. He's the loveliest guy. It was emotional response, and yeah, it's certain amounts based out of ego too. I don't think with Mike so much. I think it's just it's a red-eye flight for a start. So you've got to think, well, what's the mindset? Already tired, he's going to another gig, thinking about what he's got to do the next day.
Pissed idiots around
And they're drunk and slobbering all over him.
Yeah.
I absolutely get it. I'm not justifying that in physical action, but I totally get it.
I think a lot of people do. I mean, the fighting community on Twitter would just say, you got what he
of course
deserved.
I would. And you know, it's a little hard to get opinions from fighters.
Yeah.
Because
They're always going to go that way.
We're all, well, I'd punch your fucking head in. Well, again, that's all very well, but in this day and age, no matter what you do, you still have to justify the level of violence you took. Because you might get somebody, you might slap him once. The problem is when you get adrenalized and you slap him 5-10 times before you even sort of get control of that adrenal dump, as we call it, and realize cognitively what you're doing, the courts will basically ask, or the judge, if it goes to that, will basically say at what stage did he cease to become a threat? And he has to be a threat.
Do you think he's going to get a bit of trouble with it? Settle out of court, maybe?
It's very possible because he wasn't, by the looks of it, under physical threat.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a verbal assault, but that's very hard to justify you going the violent route and punching somebody in the face. And that's what you're up against, you know. And I know so many people say, yeah, but fuck him, you know.
The courts won't say that.
No, it's a whole separate issue. You get that all the time. That's why a closed fist, as I said, in this day and age represents extreme violence. The other problem Mike has is with his skill set and his reputation, he is almost expected by society and the law to have far greater control over his physical response than the everyday person would, you know. So it's a tough one. I feel for Mike. But again, the law's the law. It's going to be tough. I'm not sure whether that guy would have to file an actual complaint to the police. It's a bit like Chris Rock. Unfortunately, if we did that, we would be arrested for assault. It doesn't even necessarily
You
mean...
punched me the other day.
Yeah, but
press
you know,
charges.
anyone around knew you deserved it, and I could sort of get testimonials from people that know, well, Guy Angie's fucking dick, you know, he deserves it. Smack him. Do you know what I mean? And that'll be, well, we get it. So you can't really use that as a
I've
good analogy.
I've still got mild brain damage from that time you showed me how to choke someone out in Namibia.
Yeah, but did you tell him why I choked you up?
No, but that was for another episode.
See, he wanted to be choked. He wanted to know what it felt like.
Don't
I said,
tell
tap. Did he know? Ego came in, bit of that macho bullshit. He went to sleep.
So we've got to sign off.
He regrets it.
We've got to sign off now, Richard. We've got to go now.
Thank you, Greg. Greg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mate.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Steven Seagal special.
Not my foot. It's doing my foot.
Get the foot. And twist.
No, I'm supposed to turn it around.
And now backflip. Oh. It's like two seals making love. What's going on?
Thank you very much. Working that all week class, we'll go on from there.
This one, yeah.